This is a quick video for my friend Jeff, who wanted to know how I edit infrared pictures that I take, mostly at work. Here I've loaded in a bunch of images from my A6000, which is converted to 590 nanometers, just like his camera. I'll select a couple of pictures for editing. It's nothing special, but we'll mark that one. I've already marked one other one here. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, 25. This is just a picture everybody takes of the reflection off of the Wallace building of the Iowa Capitol, but here's a guy taking a picture of something we always take a picture of, so I thought it was different. I'm not going to do anything to this image in Lightroom to begin with. I'm just going to go straight over to Photoshop. So edit in Photoshop, which I've already got open here. Okay, pops it open. And if I go back to Lightroom, you'll notice in the development module, blue is absolutely maxed out. So our color temperature is just as far as Lightroom will allow you to go. Tint has already been kind of established by in-camera settings, so it's closer than it normally would be. You know, had you just shot the camera like as a pure daylight white balanced. So it's somewhat close, but there's not enough blue available. The Lightroom just doesn't let you send the color temperature past 2000. So you got to go over to Photoshop for me. Within Photoshop, I will open up the, it's now called Camera Raw Filter. Let me see if I can resize that to get it in this recording. There we go. And all I'm going to do here is just take my white balance droplet, and I'm going to try to find something that I think is supposed to be neutral gray. So I think the underside of that cloud likely should be neutral gray. And when I click it, you can see what is happened on the color temperature here. It's gone over to the far left as far as it can go, negative 100%. And there is some change in tint as well. But otherwise, everything else here looks fine. This is about what I see on the back of the camera screen. So I'm able to set my camera to take a picture with this color balance, but I can't translate that into Lightroom. And so I have to take this extra step. So from here, it's a little bit of a trick in Lightroom. I have an automated action. And all that this does, if you read through the details here, I'm converting blue and red, and I'm basically swapping those colors. So what was 100% blue is going to be 100% red, and what was 100% red is going to be 100% blue. So if I just click that button, okay, that's where I'm at right now. Again, not a great image, but it's just one to work with. But you can kind of see what it does. It's a false color image. Now you've got some decent blues in the sky, decent red foliage. This kind of pinkish foliage is what you get on a pure translation like that. And you can work with the image at this point. If you want to go to black and white, it's very easy to make the adjustments that you would normally want to in Lightroom. There's some extra stuff that you can do, but if we just go back to Lightroom, so I'm just going to click File, Save, and I'll get a copy back in Lightroom. There it is. I click over to black and white. I can then start doing whatever I want to from an exposure contrast perspective. None of those are that far off. Let's click auto and see what it does. It's fine. Usually add a little bit of texture and clarity on my image. I find works well. But here's where you can use the color sliders, and you kind of just have to experiment a little bit. Probably purples. Yeah, purples are affecting the shadows of the building, so that's good. Magenta is more in the foliage, so you can brighten that up if you like. Reds, let's look. Yeah, the reds are popping in the image because we had direct sunlight on the foliage, and then orange is not doing much on this image. Yellow's nothing. Green usually does nothing at all. Yeah, and then aqua, you'll pick up some changes in the clouds, but usually it's a kind of a secondary color. the blues, you can really have a big impact. But it looks like in this image there's so much blue that it just, if you try to darken your skies, it's not doing anything that I kind of like. So I would go back in this one and just lighten the foliage, like so. Maybe add black, and usually do that with an option in Lightroom to hold down and see where you're getting pure blacks in the image. There's not a lot of pure black in this image, so you can push it pretty far. Pure whites, you don't want to blow out a lot of your whites. A little bit is okay on like highlight like that. Add contrast. Yeah, I'm generally okay with it. It doesn't really bring out the fact that the guy is here. He's kind of hidden in the foliage, so image doesn't work for me. But that's the basics of how I would do that edit. If you were to take this back out of black and white, you can see, okay, it's kind of harsh colors. There's a secondary thing that you can do within Photoshop. I'll make a separate video on that so that you can see it. But that's basically where I would end up and how I get those looks. This one is not overly grainy. Sometimes on all of these heavy edits with colors, you'll pick up some banding and things like that in the grain of the image. And then normally you'd have to go down here into denoise and just see what you can live with, moving the sliders around and sharpening. This is a decent tool in Lightroom for sharpening, and if you want to avoid sharpening the grain, you can add a mask to limit that down to just certain areas of the image, which is an improvement. Yeah, so that's normally the workflow to get you to kind of a really nice IR image output. I think overall it works well doing it this way. I know that you use Capture One, so that's a little bit of a difference there. But this is how I get where I'm going. So hope that helps.